Well, Dr. Mohammed Kawu is the Acting Secretary, Health and Human Services Secretariat at the FCT. He joins us from our Abuja studios with more on vaccines. Thank you for joining us on the program.
Thank you. Good evening,
Doctor.
viewers.
Good evening. So JNJ Vaccines are expected, over 4 million Moderna vaccines waiting to be rolled out across the country. Let's look back at the 1% population vaccinated with the AstraZeneca, especially your station, the FCT. How satisfactory would you say was the previous rollout exercise?
Thank you very much. If you recall, FCT got over 230,000 doses. The first dose was given to about 130-something thousand. Unfortunately, those that had full vaccination, that received first and second dose, just dropped to about 100,000. But we exhausted all the vaccines sent to FCT. The challenge we had were those people that took first dose and for whatever reason, they did not come back to take the second dose. And but by and large, we are satisfied with what happened earlier. And I believe when we get to the second phase, we will also do our best in the circumstances. Thank you.
And you mentioned for those who failed to take the second dose, I mean, doesn't that point to vaccine wastage? Because now we hear that, you know, they can only wait until there's an AstraZeneca vaccine. They can't partake in Moderna or even JNJ.
Yeah, I wouldn't call it vaccine wastage because, as you know, the first dose confers some immunity. And the second dose, that is called booster dose, confers full immunity. So even if you don't have full immunity, at least you have gotten some form of immunity. And for those that have taken the first dose and are awaiting the AstraZeneca to take the second dose, we await National Primary Healthcare Agency's directive on that. There are a lot of people that have taken the first dose and they are not able to take the second dose for whatever reason. So until we get a clear directive from the national, we are not likely going to do anything about it.
We know that the cold chain storage is very important, especially for the Pfizer-BioNTech and also Moderna vaccines. Who will be monitoring to ensure there is no wastage and that is when it is time to inoculate, it is still potent?
Yeah, that is very, very important and very key. And based on that, the National Primary Care Agency donated ultra cold chain equipments to all the states of the Federation and FCT for the storage. And these vaccines, as you are aware, the ones that are coming are going to be stored under very, very high, very low temperature, minus 80 degrees centigrade. So in FCT, we have instituted a very, very good monitoring mechanism, and we already have M&E team working in the first phase that monitors deployment of the vaccines to the various area councils and how they are utilized. The M&E team has been reinvigorated, and I will personally supervise the M&E considering the fact that these vaccines, as you heard from the ED, National Primary Care, they are very costly and they are very, very important. So we will ensure that we monitor very well, and we only bring out the vaccines that will be utilized for that day because they needed to be maintained in a very, very conducive temperature. Thank you.
Finally, Dr. Kawu, vaccine hesitancy was rife then before we got the AstraZeneca vaccine. Now we're having more and more. Would you say it's still the same? Does there need to be more sensitization, more awareness as to the COVID-19 vaccines?
Honestly, nobody will tell you there is serious vaccine hesitancy across the globe generally, not only Nigeria. But in our case, I think it's more serious. However, with a lot of sensitization, a lot of risk communication, a lot of talking to our people, And with also what is happening now, that the third wave is almost here and a lot of people are getting infected, a lot of people are already asking for these vaccines. They've been bombarding me with question when can they receive their own doses. So we continue to do this communication, but seriously, there has been vaccine hesitancy. I hope and pray we will overcome it. Thank you.
We'd like to thank you, Dr. Mohammed Kawus, the Acting Secretary, Health and Human Services Secretariat with the FCT. Thank you for joining us on the program.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.